guys, welcome back to the Perry fam and welcome if you are new. I told myself that I would never do this, but working full-time as well as doing projects on the weekend, not just for the baby nursery, but you'll notice that my background looks a little bit different. So I did finally start to convert what I've been using as a room for my little older dogs to keep them kind of segregated from my larger dogs, into what's going to be my office moving forward, and especially once baby comes. But I'm going to be grouping together almost my entire second trimester because filming videos have just gotten away from me, and my second trimester has been pretty uneventful. So I figured, why not just group it all together? I'll do my best to break it down into each week, and a little bit about what's been going on when I did have any kind of symptoms. And after this video, I will also be posting our gender reveal because we did find out about midway through the second trimester what we were having. So let's start with week 13. So in week 13, I started to feel much better. I'm finally starting to be able to eat normal food and actual meals, which was great. And I'm starting to get my energy back in week 13. I had pretty much been working from bed prior to week 13, and luckily my boss was great with that. But baby's about the size of a peach, which is about 3.4 inches. So we're still pretty small here, but the lungs are continuing to develop and the arms are starting to become more proportionate to the body. However, the legs do still have some catching up to do. So that was pretty much it for my week 13. Other than gaining my energy back and being able to start eating, I didn't really have any new symptoms. I wasn't craving any kinds of foods yet, and everything that had been going on the previous weeks were still going on now as a symptom, except for my nausea. In week 14, baby is about the size of a pear, which is about 4 inches in length. Baby is starting to develop taste. So they do have their taste buds now. And then the eyebrows and eyelashes are starting to grow in. So baby is starting to form some of their hair on their body. I didn't really have any symptoms for week 14 because it was just similar to the week prior. I was starting to feel a little bit more energetic. I'm starting to prepare for our gender reveal. So we do have some of our friends and family coming over in the next week for week 15, so we can do our gender reveal. So week 15, baby is about the size of an avocado. So that's about 4.5 inches, which to me seems like a fairly large avocado, but I've never measured an avocado. So we're gonna go with it. The bones are starting to harden, so they're no more like cartilage. They are definitely getting stronger at this point. And then the baby is starting to become more active. So some women might start to feel the baby's flutter at about this point, but don't worry if you don't, because I hadn't felt it yet at week 15. So again, we also talked about doing the gender reveal in week 15. And the reason why we are able to do it in week 15 is I actually had the genetics test done, I believe, at week 12's appointment. So my husband and I don't really know a lot of our family history. I was adopted and his dad was not around. So we did the genetic test, not just on myself, which we did back when I was going through the infertility process, but now we have done it on the baby. And part of the outcome of that is finding out the gender earlier than that 20-week anatomy scan. I'll put a couple of pictures in here about the gender reveal and what we're having, but I will also post the full video after this. Week 16. So one of the biggest things that I wrote down for week 16 is that I'm starting to not feel like I'm pregnant. it started to scare me a little bit because I went from being extremely tired and super nauseous to just nothing. I'm finally able to eat normal. I can cook regular meals. I have a ton of energy. I'm trying to get stuff done between the nursery, starting to get those walls painted and everything since we know what the baby is. And it was a little scary during week 16, and I just kept waiting until my next appointment in order to make sure that the baby was okay, because I just did not feel pregnant at all. But baby is about 5.1 inches, and that's about the size of a navel orange. The baby is starting to form fat, and then even though she has had taste buds for a while, she's now starting to develop flavor. So now she can distinguish between the different flavors that you're feeding her, and she will start to react a little bit more to those flavors as she's making them out. And then I also did note that I'm starting to have more of a bump versus the bloating. So the first trimester is a lot of bloat, your uterus is really down low, and about week 15, your uterus pops up a little higher in your belly and you start to see more of a bump versus just that bloat feeling. And I did start to notice that my tricks of, wearing my original jeans and pants and putting the little hair tie around it was starting to not work as well in about week 16. Now week 17, baby is about 5.5 inches, which is the size of a pomegranate. So we are definitely continuing to grow week to week. And the weight is starting to increase on the baby as she starts to develop that fat from the previous weeks. And she's also starting to hear the sounds that are going on outside of the womb. So she's also starting to hear the sounds that are going on outside of the womb. So they definitely say to start speaking to her more, and you can play music for her because she's going to start to recognize a lot of that when she comes out, especially your voice. Week 18, we're looking at about the size of a grapefruit, so that's about 6 inches. Baby is now being covered in vernix, so that's that white, thick white, creamy substance that you see around the babies when they're born, depending on when they are born, because the later that they are born, the less vernix they're going to have on their skin. And this just protects their skin while they're in the womb. You know how we get kind of wrinkly if we're in the bath or the pool too long. It's kind of protecting their skin from that same thing. And then by this point, your baby is pretty much developed in the sense of it looks like she's going to look when she comes out. And then I've also noted that I'm starting to lose my belly button. So I have a bump enough that my husband calls it a skateboard ramp. So my belly button is kind of stretched out and it's kind of starting to feel a little bit flat. It hasn't like popped or anything, but there is in a sense no belly button. It is just all belly at this point. And I did start to notice that that linea negra, that line that runs from about your pelvis to your belly button, and sometimes it can go further up, is starting to form as well. Week 19, so we are definitely starting to jump in size here. So now we're 10 inches, and that's just due to how they are measuring the baby now. So before they would measure from head to rump, and now that the baby's legs have finally started to stretch out a bit more, we are now measuring from heel to crown. That's where that like 4-inch jump finally came from. Baby girl is starting to develop more of a sleep pattern. So you'll start to notice that she could be asleep more during the day and a little bit more active at night. And that's just due to the motion of you moving throughout the day kind of lulls her to sleep. So I've noticed, because I do sit a lot in this office and I'm working, I feel her more triggered with food than anything. And that kind of goes back to the fact that she can now distinguish between flavors. So if she likes a flavor or it's a flavor I consistently eat, she's definitely a little bit more active throughout the day, which is great for me because then she tends to sleep at night and I can sleep too. The uterus, so if you're having a girl, the uterus is already fully developed by this point, and your placenta is at its max thickness. And I did start to notice during this week more flutters, so reactions from the baby. They weren't really like heavy kicks yet, but I could tell that there was some sort of movement going on. Like I said, reactions to certain foods that I'm eating and things like that. Weeks 20 through 23. So basically this was lumped together in my app. I'm nearing like the last gap before I go into the 3rd trimester, and baby is about the size of an eggplant. And there's not much change during this week in the way of growth, but baby is about a pound now. So that's definitely good. We're starting to measure and gain weight, and the hair color is starting to change to the hair color that it's going to be when she's born. And then you'll start to notice the weight double after these few weeks. I did go in for my anatomy scan at week 20 and everything was perfect with baby girl. And we did double check that she is in fact a girl. So I will insert some of the pictures from the ultrasound that we got from the tech. She was very active during our ultrasound. So it was a little hard to get some really good pictures, but we do know that she is measuring on track, like almost exactly on track. She's a little higher in a few of her measurements, but the heart looked good. Her bone density was excellent. So my husband and I kind of joke that she is getting daddy's bones because he has never broken a bone, and he probably should have been a few times.
So, yeah. Okay. So this back of the baby's hand, little knuckles here. Okay. So, and this kind of a shadowy area is come from surrounding structure. So it's not from baby's face like that. It's just the cast a shadow. Okay. Where did you go? Oh, she turned. Bear with me. Sorry, Mommy, I have to pressure a little bit, okay?
It's okay.
Yeah, she turned a little face away. So, that's a little face again. Oh, she's hiding this time. Yeah. Little face. And then this is like a left arm going across the face like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I could feel her.
Yeah, you do, huh? It's a good pressure right there. It's almost like a profile. You see chins right here, a little nose tip, and then this looks like a nasal bone, and then the front of the head, the forehead. So, okay, right there.
Also during these weeks, and I'm just gonna set my notes to the side, during these weeks, those flutters I was talking about from the previous week have started to, hold on one second, guys. Hey, have started to develop into more of punches. So I did notice when I was having my ultrasound done at week 20, every time the ultrasound tech pushed on one side, the baby would actually kick or punch on the other side. And those have just gotten stronger and stronger. Last night, actually, my husband, I had him put his hand right on my belly, and she could just tell the difference between mama and daddy's hand because she just consistently punched or kicked right where his hand was. And that was great for him to feel, because before they were so faint you couldn't tell if it was a gas bubble or if it was the baby. So that is definitely starting to become more frequent every time I eat, or if I drink something that's a little bit more sugary, she is starting to react. Now, my dog, my female dog, she is still super attached to me. I'll put a couple of pictures in here as well. She has been just laying right underneath my bump, making sure not to put pressure on it, and just protecting our little girl already. So I do know that she is just going to be the best little protector for our girl when she comes into this world. So again, sorry guys about doing such a massive update of my second trimester, but like I said, things have just gotten away from me. I will show you, now that I'm a little bit caught up, what my bump is looking like these days. So let's see, I might have to adjust the camera, but this is what we're looking like. And then as you can see, there is my flat belly button and the line I was talking about. Nothing too big. And that's about it for updates. If there's anything that you guys want to know in future updates, please comment down below. I am posting more frequent updates on my Instagram. So if you go over to my Instagram account, you can definitely follow me there. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. And again, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Have a good day, guys.